We should have, we're supposed to have 3 LPs. We've only got 2 in here. Hey everybody, this is TJR.
This is Superfan.
We're just hanging out here. Hey, where's the little guy? Oh, there he is. He's hiding.
Grogu.
Guy, come on, buddy. There you go. So we're just gonna do some unboxings here. We've got, well, what happened is some of this is pre-orders. Some of this was a sale I found one week, and then a sale I found another week. And I just kind of let it all arrive so that I could just unbox it all at once here in one video here. We're going to start off here with a CD unboxing here. This was a pre-order here. I already know what this is. Well, I know what all of these are, of course. But we'll check this one out first here. This is the CD package. This is the anniversary edition of Norah Jones's album Little Broken Hearts. This is the deluxe edition here. Just pulled this out here. I, of course, got this CD back when it first came out and later got it on vinyl. And this, of course, has 2 CDs on it. I'm already just looking at it. I kind of didn't think they'd put it in a jewel case. I figured they'd put it in like a digipack or something. But it's a jewel case here. But it comes with, of course, a remastering of the original album. Honestly, I'm not sure we needed a remastering of it. But what I got it for was all the extras. There is, on CD, there are bonus tracks and remixes. And these are complete reimaginings, these remixes. This has been out for a little while. In fact, I didn't get it till after it got released to streaming. So I've been listening to it on streaming. And the remixes are complete reimaginings done by different producers on the tracks, and they are very much unique listens unto themselves. And then we've got the live tracks here, live at Austin City Limits 2012, where she's playing a lot of songs off the album here, and a few extras here. Again, I've not even listened to the remastering. I honestly don't know if we need one, to be honest. But I'll listen to it. I'll compare. But the remixes are really, really good, and they really reimagine the tracks. Here's the booklet. We've got lyrics. I remember I covered this album back when Robert and I did the Music Worth Buying show. This was kind of, I think this was, if I'm not mistaken, this was maybe her 5th album. I have to go back and look at the catalog. But with each album, since her first album, she's really just expanded her musical palette. Part of it has been working with the right producers, and who have helped give her albums their own identities. And this one, she worked with Danger Mouse, and he also did a lot. His production really helped shape the sound of this album. Very ethereal sounding, very dreamscape sounding. Excellent album. And
it is the 5th album.
It is the 5th album. Okay, I was correct. Ever since her 3rd album, she began to really just keep expanding her palette, her songwriting. She just really began to grow, and each album has grown significantly. This is why I like listening to her so much. Every album is different from the one before it. The first 2 are kind of the same, and then with the 3rd one, that's when she started playing with different musical colors. And the last album she did, she really got into complex music. Anyway, so we've got 2 CDs here in this case. Here they are. The CD of the album plus bonus tracks and remixes. I've listened to the bonus tracks. They're really good too, along with the remixes. There's just about 2 of them. But what really got me on this was the live tracks. And, you know, some people love live albums, and I've got some in my collection too. But I've never been a big live album person. One thing I usually don't get on Record Store Day are live albums, partly because you don't know how good the quality is going to be. Sometimes they can be questionable. The live tracks on this are absolutely fantastic. There's so much energy to them. Um, it was like hearing this album again for the first time, hearing the live tracks, because there was such an energy and life to them. So I'm glad to finally have the CD here. And I'll, of course, stop listening on streaming. I'll import this to my drive so I can sync it to my mobile device, play the CD here at home. I didn't get this one on vinyl, um, partly because of the expense. And I already have it on vinyl. And I like the vinyl copy I have. And again, I just don't think a remaster is going to make that big a difference. I don't think it's been long enough for it to make a difference. I could be wrong about this. If you've heard the remastered vinyl and have compared it to the old one, let me know. But I'll listen to this. I'll compare it to my original CD. And also, I've oftentimes felt that I don't need bonus tracks on vinyl. However, though, now that I've heard these live tracks, who knows? Maybe I should have. But they sounded great on streaming too, so I'm going to be happy with this, at least for now, anyways. Maybe at some point I
Yeah,
might
we'll
replace it.
see.
We'll see, yeah. But there it is, Norah Jones, Little Broken Hearts, deluxe edition, 2 CD set, and go ahead and put that over there. Okay, so next we've got a couple of single album purchases, and I'm not sure what is in what package here, so I'm just going to open them up here. And so here we go. And okay, this, of course, is from You Discover Music, and they had a sale going on. And I had my eye on this release for a little while, but was kind of waiting for the price to go down, and then this sale happened. So I said, okay, I'm getting it now rather than later. And here we go. Steely Dan, Countdown to Ecstasy. And this is, of course, the part of the re-release on vinyl series that they're doing. Um, at the same time as these, we're seeing those UHQR, those really expensive UHQR releases on vinyl, which are just too expensive for my tastes. But it seems pretty clear to me that it's the same mastering as on the UHQR. It doesn't sound quite as good from what I've been told. I can't compare it. But I've not talked to, but I've listened to YouTubers who have heard the UHQR and compared it to this. And they said, yeah, the UHQR sounds really fantastic. Of course, you really need to have some great gear for it. But they've said for most people, these more budget friendly re-releases, you can't go wrong. You're gonna be fine with this, you know, and I'm fine with it, because I can't afford those UHQR
Maybe
pressings.
after we win the lotto.
Yeah, maybe after we win the lotto, because I'm sure that's going to happen.
I'm
But
working on it.
I know. There we go. Just had a good little tear there. But of course, I originally owned this album on vinyl back in the day, back in the 70s. And of course, Let It Go. Got it on CD. So I'm coming full circle on these again. And I've been real pleased with all of these modern repressings they've done on Steely Dan. Can't Buy a Thrill. The previous one was Gaucho. I've been real impressed with the quality. And like I said, it's the same remastering, taken maybe from the same, cutting the same master plates and all that. You just don't have that process that they have with the UHQR. And there, we've got that off. Let's take a look here. Oh yeah, I remember this now. The original sleeve here, um, with lyrics. And from that classic 70s period, this has Bodhisattva, Razor Boy, The Boston Rag, Your Gold Teeth, Showbiz Kids, My Old School, Pearl of the Quarter, King of the World. All really great tracks. Really, really good tracks. This is on standard black vinyl. And let's see here. Maybe we'll pull this out here. Give it a little bit of a look-see here. But the sleeve is very tight, so I'm pulling out this little guy here. Try to pull him out with here. I will, of course, this is a nice heavy-duty paper, but I'm going to, of course, put it in an anti-static sleeve. But there we go.
Shiny.
Very shiny, yeah. Brand new. Let's take a look at it here. Pretty clean, pretty clean. A little bit of some a little bit of debris, but nothing serious. You know, we'll get that taken care of really easily. Steely Dan, Countdown to Ecstasy. Yeah, I've been pleased so far. I have a feeling I'm going to be very pleased with this one too. There we go. And let's see, what else do we have here next? Here, little guy, you can hold on to that. Watch that. This one here. Now that I know what that one is, I know what this one is.
No, Grogu, it's not licorice, and you cannot eat it.
This is going to be from Merch Bar. And this is one that I've been wanting to get, but it's been an expensive one. So I've just avoided it until now. They had it on sale, and it was cheap. Even with their shipping charge, it was cheaper than getting it from without shipping on Amazon. You know, because it was just expensive, and that's because it's a 2-disc set. Let's take a look here. There we go. Alice in Chains, Dirt. I love Alice in Chains. I really do.
They love you too.
Yeah. There we go. But this is the first album. And every review I've heard on this release, everybody has said that, yeah, that it beats out the original 90s vinyl release, which is expensive to get. But they've all said the same thing, that this just beats it out. It's just better. There we go. Let's get that open here. See, the hype sticker here says, remastered original audio featuring the hit singles, Them Bones, Down in a Hole, Rooster, Angry Chair, and Wood. And let's see here. Yeah, we've got 2 discs here. These are in black paper sleeves. As nice as they look, we will be removing them from these black vinyl and putting them in anti-static sleeves here. We've got a little insert here. We'll pull that out here along with the other disc. Yeah, I think this is what the original sleeve was like. It was just this clear, this like nice glossy page here with lyrics and credits. Here it's just they put it in as an insert. And but yeah, it's on 2 discs, so yeah, that is probably has a lot to do with why everybody's saying that it sounds better than the original vinyl pressing, which was stuck onto 1 disc. But it's not at 45, it's at 33. Yeah, 33. It's at 33 RPM. And we'll pull out one and take a look here. There we go. Yeah, again, tight. And let's see here. Columbia Records. Yeah, I'd say about average as far as some surface debris on it, which we'll brush off before we play it for the first time, before I import it into my digital. There we go, into my mobile device. Okay. Alice in Chains. Really looking forward to hearing this because I've heard so many good things about it. Even the Steely Dan ones have been pretty expensive. They're great sounding, you know, but if you can hold out for a good price, you know, try to do that. And so lastly, we have one more package here. This is from Acoustic Sounds. It's the first time I've ever bought anything from them. They have a really good reputation. And they were doing a sale, much to my surprise. And there's some stuff here that I got that the price on it was just too amazing for some of the ones I picked up here. I got one additional record I was going to get anyways for the same price I would have bought it anywhere else, but I got it so that I could get free shipping. So because I will admit their shipping was rather expensive compared to others, and although I will admit they do package it well, this is very well made here. This shipping package here, they do a good job. There we go. Let's pull these out. Let's make sure we got all of them out of here, and let's see here. We should have. We're supposed to have 3 LPs. We've only got 2 in here. Let me see here. Huh. We only have 2 LPs in this box, and I ordered 3. So I guess we have to see if the other one's coming later.
Yeah, you'll have to look online and
Yeah,
check
I'm going to have
that.
to look online. I was expecting it all to be in here. It is not, however. Let's take a look here. I see the 2 albums that showed up here.
It only shows those 2?
Order total, yeah.
Then you should be fine. The other one's probably on back order.
Probably. They show my initial price I paid, and then there is a negative amount. I wonder if maybe the third album just wasn't available after all, and
Oh,
they are
they gave you
crediting my
credited?
account.
Okay.
Yeah, but I still got the free shipping.
Well, because it
But
wasn't your fault.
yeah, I'm just kind of disappointed because I really wanted that other album. That was one of the ones that was on sale. The sale was insanely good, and yeah. First, let me show what we got here.
I know what that one is.
Yes, this is a favorite of yours and a favorite of mine. We both really love this album.
It's actually a favorite of Robert's, too.
Yeah, it is. Brian Wilson, That Lucky Old Son. And this is one of his 21st century albums, a concept album that he did a ways back, not too long ago, but the 20%, one of his 21st century albums. And
He recorded with the Wondermints.
with the Wondermints, yes. He collaborated with Van Dyke Parks on it. This album here, I saw it on Amazon the day I purchased it for like $44. I just checked to see if the price had gone down. It hadn't. It was $44.
You got it
And
for a lot less.
yes, this was like under $12. This one right here. Let's try to get this. Here we go. The shrink wrap's coming off. Here we go. But this is a concept album of his. It's a fantastic album, just beautiful album. And
it's about Los Angeles.
It's all about Southern California, Los Angeles. Yeah, it could be described as kind of an ode to Southern California.
Yeah.
And let's pull off the rest of the shrink wrap here. We'll take a look at it here. And of course, we've had this on CD for a while now, this album. And I've always wanted to get a vinyl copy so I could listen and compare and see what I think. But it's just been too expensive. And so here we go. Here's the front and back cover here. And this is on a nice matte finish here. Looks really nice. Here's the interior. And let's take a look inside.
All this stuff is making Grogu hungry. I will get you an orange later.
Yeah. So here is the sleeve here with lyrics. Heavy cardboard sleeve. Of course, we are going to put this in an anesthetic. Although I'll admit the interior is very soft. It's been coated so that it's very soft inside.
So it's an archival sleeve then.
Yeah, it's a good sleeve. I still probably will feel better if I put it in an anesthetic sleeve, since it's not since it doesn't appear to have an anesthetic interior. It is soft though, which is helpful. It helps to keep it protected. Here we go.
Yeah. So
That Lucky Old Son. Let's take a look at it here. Pretty damn clean, I'd say. Yeah. Very clean. You never know. It depends on the depends sometimes. This is on Capitol Records here.
Yeah, and the album prior to this, which was Smile.
Brian Wilson's Smile. Yeah, his completing the Smile album that he never completed with the Beach Boys, basically.
Which was kind of an ode to America.
Amongst other things, I would say, yeah.
Well, it's kind of a journey across the United States.
Yeah, it is.
That album.
Whereas this album is more of an ode to Los Angeles and Southern California. Yeah, this is just a fantastic album. If you've never heard it, can't recommend it enough. Really can't. And now I'll show the next album. Now this is the album. I could have bought this elsewhere, but I decided to get it through this purchase because it brought the shipping down to free, and their shipping was expensive. Um, yeah, I still would have gotten a good deal on this, even with the shipping and the other album that I was going to purchase. And the other album was really marked down too. But this was more of its standard price. But again, I was planning on getting it anyways. So I said, get it now. And that way you can get the free shipping. Because Acoustic Sounds is expensive. Um, their cheapest shipping starts at like at about $11, which is a lot, in my opinion.
Yeah,
That's,
it is, but it depends on what you get too.
I guess. Well, I will admit they do pack it well.
Yeah,
I'll give them that
and
much.
that's important.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like I said, I've had one or two bad experiences with Amazon, but mostly they pack things really well, and so did these other ones from Merch Bar, and they
Yeah,
pack them well, um, and of course with Amazon, you can return it's easy to return things if there's a problem, but so let me just go ahead and take this off here. This is well, I should actually probably leave this on because you can barely see it otherwise. This is the new one by the Foo Fighters. And this is the white vinyl version. And I didn't initially pre-order it. I I listened to it and then decided I wanted to get it. And I reviewed it on the channel. In fact, I have a review posted. If you want to check that
U2
out.
called. They want their album cover back.
Yeah. Who called? U2?
U2 called.
You mean the Beatles called?
No, that's got a line on it.
Oh, No Line on the Horizon is what you're thinking of. I was going to say the Beatles called and they want their album cover back because this looks like the White Album. Um,
Actually, it looks like No Line on the Horizon.
Here we go. I guess it does a little bit, except that No Line on the Horizon is more gray.
Yeah.
But yeah, here it is. I mean, you can barely see the writing here at the bottom. But here we are. This is the title of the album. This is, of course, their first album since the passing of Taylor Hawkins. And it's also in my review, oh gosh, look at this lyric sheet. How can you read this? This is the lyric sheet. You can kind of see it faintly printed there. I mean, I understand the whole artistic thing, but come on, this is hard to read. It's so faint. I mean, I get what they're going for.
I wonder if you light it up in a black light, if it'll show.
Who knows? Maybe. I don't know.
I've got a black light flashlight upstairs. Yeah. We'll check it.
But I listened to this on streaming before purchasing it, and I reviewed it. I thought it was a fantastic album. It is all about themes of grief and loss. I mean, along with losing their drummer, Dave Grohl lost his mother that same year. And as someone who lost his mother not too long ago, I relate, And I've lost bandmates in the past too, though fortunately not in the same year. And this is on white vinyl. Let's take a look here at it. There we go. Come on, out you go. There. Again, very tight sleeve. They loosen up eventually, but yeah. So there it is. It's on white vinyl. And oh my gosh, yeah, even the label, you can barely read it. It's so faint. And I understand it's all an artistic choice. It looks really nice though, the white vinyl. Although white vinyl, it can be very hard to catch see where the dust is. So I just do the best job I can with my carbon fiber brush before I play it. Still, though, I think it looks pretty clean all in all. And so the album that didn't arrive was Jill Scott's first album. And that is an expensive album. It's I think it's a double set. And it was about $36 or something. And I was getting it for under $18, just under $18.
Makes me wonder if it was a mistake.
That it was listed on sale as part of the sale. Maybe, I don't know. But I mean, yeah. So I am disappointed. I was going to get this anyways, but I did get the free shipping on both of these, so that helps. I'm really grateful I got Lucky Old Son.
Yeah, that was a nice little bonus.
As inexpensively as I got it. But I really wanted to get the Jill Scott album too, but oh well. I guess it looks to me
looking.
It looks to me like they are crediting me back for that record. because I see here a negative amount here with a minus symbol, which means that's a credit.
Yeah.
So yeah, and the order total is, it says my deposit was what I actually paid. So yeah, I'm just guessing I'm not getting that. We'll see. I don't think I will be though. This is how it looks to me. Anyways, though, so one less than I expected.
Bummer.
Bummer, yeah. So there we go. That's our vinyl CD haul, and let me give these a listen now and see what I think. Okay, we are back, and we've sampled everything, and so we're going to just kind of react to that here.
And Grogu's eating his orange somewhere.
Yeah, he's eating his orange, and he's hiding over here. Hey, buddy, you got that orange? Are you done with it?
Did you eat it already?
He must have eaten it already. Yeah. Well, you know how fast he eats. Anyhow, yeah. But so yeah, we're going to go ahead and just react to this here. First of all, Steely Dan, Countdown to Ecstasy. And just like the previous releases in this series here, and I should point out this remastering is just on vinyl only. The CDs themselves got remastered some years back. There are no plans to remaster them again. They probably don't need it. But on LP, that has not happened. So these remasters are just for the LPs. They're releasing them on UHQR and then, of course, doing a regular release as well. And just like the ones that preceded it here, which was Can't Buy a Thrill and Gaucho, fantastic sounding. The quality has not diminished. You know, Can't Buy a Thrill, always really liked it. And when I played the LP, I was like, okay, yeah, I hear the difference immediately. It's just so much bigger and fuller sounding. Gaucho was my least favorite of the classic era Steely Dan LPs, and it's helped increase my appreciation for it. This album Gaucho here, although it does have some great tracks, there were some that I was a little less than enthused by, and this one just as good, just as good. We listened to a little bit of it, and I just thought, yeah, the quality has been strong on all of these. And again, they're using the same pressing, the same mastering as for the UHQR, but it doesn't have that UHQR step, which of course adds all that extra fidelity, which I'm going to believe it does, since I can't hear it myself, can't check it out myself, can't afford to. But I'm very happy with what they've done with this. I think what's going to be interesting for me is I have a couple of Steely Dan albums that are vintage 70s.
Yeah.
These three are not part of them, oddly enough. But I do have a couple. I have Asia, and I have the Royal Scam on vintage vinyl. So it's going to be interesting to compare those to my vintage vinyl copies and see how they turn out.
Yeah, you'll have to check that out as you destroy everything on the sofa.
Exactly. I had to get a drink there. I was getting kind of parched there. Yeah. I could feel my voice going. So this brings us to Lucky Old Sun, and I put it on the turntable, and you responded within like 30 seconds. You responded.
Yeah, there's definite difference between the CD and the vinyl.
Without even a comparison, you felt it immediately. You said.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was very. Was really well done. I still want to do a back-to-back. I have been fooled in the past, but yeah, just from what I heard too, I have to admit, very, very good. The next one here, this is the Alice in Chains Dirt, and I have to admit, I played the opening track, listened to it very carefully, and then I thought, this definitely sounds different from the CD. I pulled out the CD and played it. What I noticed, and this is I've noticed on other hard rock and metal albums that have been, either half speed mastered or remastered. This isn't a half speed master, but the fact that they spread it out over 2 discs versus its original 1 disc does improve the fidelity. But I thought to myself, it doesn't seem as bright and as trebly as the CD, even though I hadn't listened to the CD in a while. And I pulled out the CD, and sure enough, yeah, the CD had some more treble to it. It definitely had more treble. but it was also flatter sounding. Where this was much deeper sounding, bassier sounding, but the drums had more power and impact. The guitars, the grungy, grindy, distorted guitars, there was such a thickness to them. I kind of missed the treble that was on the CD, but I also loved how much thicker the guitars sounded. Again, and then bass and drums, so much more booming, so much more powerful. But yeah, if you need that treble, you might want to stick with the CD. But to me, the fact that the CD sounded so flat by comparison to this that it's kind of no contest in my opinion. But I know some people really like the treble, and I think that's one thing that's the only thing that CD has over it. And I've noticed that with metal recordings, metal and hard rock. Sometimes metal and hard rock fare better on CD. Sometimes the brightness that you get with CDs improves metal, gives it more clarity. Whereas it becomes a bit thicker and maybe even sludgier on vinyl. But again, the guitars had so much depth to them. I couldn't believe it. So it's all a matter of taste. So next here we have this, of course, I have nothing to compare this to. This was, of course, the Foo Fighters album here again, the almost impossible to read Foo Fighters album here, but here we are. And this sounded really good. I mean, I have nothing to compare it to. I didn't buy this on CD. With the others, I'm comparing, but sounded fantastic. Clean as a whistle, it seemed. Tremendously energetic. But I thought for fun, I'd also show you here what Superfan was talking about. This is U2's.
I guess it's not so much like.
Well, I kind of see where you're coming from.
The top half for sure.
But this is U2's No Line on the Horizon by comparison here. I should bring this album, I should talk about this very briefly. When I first listened to this album, I forget what year it came out. I bought it on CD. We bought it on CD. We listened to it. And I just thought it was boring. I thought it was a boring, boring album. I must have listened to it about 10 or 11 times. I just thought, boring. Wow, U2 made a boring album,
No, they didn't.
And then wow. I was still kind of, at this point, I was still kind of just beginning to barely explore vinyl. I was hearing about the Loudness Wars, and I found this used copy, and I played it, and it was night and day. Suddenly, the album was alive. There was dynamic range. I could feel the excitement of the performance, and it was not a boring album anymore. And I really believe that this album suffered from the Loudness Wars. It was right around that time.
It came out in 2009.
Yeah, it was right around that time when a lot of albums were being just compressed to all hell to make them as loud as they could make them. And I think it suffered from that. And on vinyl, it was exciting. It was dynamic. There was this album. There was Elton John's The Captain and the Kid, another one that I played on CD first and just thought, boring, really boring. Played it on vinyl. Wow, it's really good. So yeah, I thought I'd just show you just so you could see what Superfan was talking about. And then, of course,
that was when you started your journey down the rabbit hole of,
yeah, that's
I
kind
want
of
everything on vinyl.
Yeah, well, I don't want everything on vinyl. And some things I think are better on CD. I still don't believe there's an absolute to this, but I thought I'd just show you this here. Here's the White Album by the Beatles right here. I think it personally comes closer to this than No Line, but I hear what Superfan is saying. Yeah, so there's the White Album. I just figured I'd show that to you there. And there we go. And then finally, Norah Jones. I just thought I thought since I had the CD here, the new re-release here, I'd show my vinyl copy here, which is on white vinyl too, just like the Foo Fighters album is. And I think this sounds fantastic. Like I said, I just didn't feel that much of a need to pick up the new vinyl version. I think this will, I'm sure this will suffice. Also, I thought I'd show this too because I got this on Record Store Day. This is the same album, Little Broken Hearts here, live at All Air Studios, where she basically sat with her band in the studio and they recorded the album live. It's a uniquely different album also because the instrumentation is quite different. And it's this, whereas this original release was very dream pop like in its sound, very modern sounding too. This comes off more as just an Americana album. So the production, it's comparing these two versions, by where you've got one producer and a group of musicians in one group of sessions, another group of musicians with a different producer for these sessions, and this performed live. This, of course, multi-tracked in the studio. Just what a difference a producer can make, and they're both good, but they just sound and feel different. And the live tracks on this here, they're very much trying to emulate the studio arrangements. They do not sound anything like this Record Store Day release. And I initially thought that the bonus live stuff was going to be this, but this is completely separate from what's here. So yeah, these were live at Austin City Limits 2012, and so yeah. But I thought I'd just show that. Lastly, I thought I'd show one other thing here. This was the album that I was expecting to get, the third album that didn't arrive with Acoustic Sounds. I failed to mention the title. Jill Scott's first album, Who is Jill Scott? And Jill Scott, I just love her. Great soul R&B artist. Very much doing old school soul. And if she had been around in the 70s, I think she'd be a legend by now, because radio was more in tune with what she's doing now. They would have been more in tune to it back then. Yeah. And I don't think she sounds retro either, even though I do kind of describe her that way. She's kind of old school, but she's kind of new school too. But the old school is really, you can hear how much she knows the history of what she's in. Some young artists, you sense they don't really have any sense of the history of what they're doing.
Well, because they don't get a musical education.
Yeah, probably not. But anyways, though, yeah, so I just thought I'd show that there. And I was ashamed that I won't be getting that one on vinyl, but who knows, maybe sometime in the future I will. But yeah, so that's our reaction to all these, to these new pickups here. And I'd say mostly positive. The Alice in Chains, where there was some was a little bit like, okay, doesn't quite have the trouble of the CD, but it has a lot of other advantages though. So there you go. And hope you enjoyed this. As always, if you like these videos, be sure to hit like, hit subscribe, hit the bell notification icon. Patron supporters, thank you so much for all that you do. That is why I make exclusive weekly videos for the patron supporters.
You are fierce and mighty.
You definitely are. Oh, and also, I reviewed this album the weekend it came out. Check out that review. I really appreciate it if you did that. And of course, thank you so much just for stopping by and watching. We really appreciate it. And we'll see you all in the next video, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye. You want another orange? Come on.
He just thinks he wants it.